territory where Carlos Bulosan once lived to tell the story of the rain, sweat, glory of Mike Jackson men who fight the destination we were destined to end. Left a writing on the wall in the halls of the Nippon Khan. Others transformed, majority Decepticons. But my conception of the walk.
It's episode 58.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you did your research on 58s, but this is the Cal Raleigh episode. I'm just gonna override you because the past 10 episodes I think have been the Cal. We should just rename this the Cal Raleigh podcast.
That is true, but the best 58 is probably Luis Castillo, and I want to throw him a little sprinkle of flowers because Castillo's been an all-star for the Mariners, and he has pitched pretty well this year. He's kind of underrated, but it's hard to ignore Cal Raleigh right now. So,
well, even bringing up Luis Castillo, you sent me a great article by Jeff Passan on ESPN, and one of the stories that Passan wrote about Cal Raleigh was when he signed his extension, he interrogated the Mariners front office on what was going to happen with the future of this team, and one of the questions was, are you going to keep these pitchers together?
Right.
And the Mariners didn't trade Castillo. Now, they didn't trade him because of Cal Raleigh, but I think it does kind of give you a little insight on the mindset of like to win the World Series, we need to keep this pitching core together at a minimum or improve upon it. Right. I was at the Giants game last Tuesday watching Robbie Ray face off against Taijuan Walker, and I was thinking, man, Ray's having a great season right now. But honestly, like maybe he'd be the fifth starter on this team, right? Like,
he would because Bryce Miller got hurt.
Yeah, but I'm okay with not having him. Like, Dipoto has 4 solid starters, maybe a fifth, depending on who's healthy. But that's a long way of me saying, like, if I can buy into Cal Raleigh and the Mariners organization's development of him, I'm not going to be too negative about the front office, right?
Yeah, I think I've been on record saying, like, I think people are too negative about the Mariners front office.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter is the worst place to go. Everyone's just slamming. But I will disagree with you on the Robbie Ray. They traded him for Mitch Haniger, who's not on the team, who they're paying.
Yeah,
they're paying. So it would have been better to have Robbie Ray in that case. It's different when, like, okay, you got rid of the salary and you're using it somewhere else. They're using it to pay Mitch Haniger, who's not playing baseball for them. So that's not a good one. But let me segue into this really quick, and then we'll come back to Cal, because you opened it with the front office. You can't both criticize. I guess you can. I choose not to slam them too hard because they're incredible at drafting and developing, right? So Cal, Logan, George, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring right now for Cole Young. Like, that dude was good this weekend and has now hit 2 home runs in the last 6 games before break. I think Cole Young's the second baseman the rest of the year. I don't think they try to upgrade that spot. They're drafting guys, and they just drafted number 3 overall, Kate Anderson, who a lot of people had number 1 overall.
So, and you just brought up the Haniger trade, which, it's a great example, but I will say that Dipoto's actually got a decent trade record. Look at the All-Star roster, right? Traded for Andres Munoz, then developed him. Traded for Randy Arozarena, who's definitely paying off right now, right?
Yeah, people are like, well, they never trade for big bats. They traded for Randy Arozarena, and they gave up guys who we'll see. But you go back to the Castillo trade. The guys they traded were big prospects, and this is going to segue as well, right? So Noelvi Marte is playing for them and having a nice year, but he's also been hurt, and he's been suspended for 80 games last year for steroids. He's the big prize in that trade. You take Castillo over him 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
So you're right. The trade has been good. They got lucky in this draft. I wrote about it on our C-Town Sports Substack, by the way. C-Town Sports, Wait for It Seattle podcast. Here we
That's Brian. I'm Kevin.
But getting Kate Anderson at number 3, who's a lefty who throws 97 from LSU, by the way, 150-something strikeouts on 113 innings.
And won a championship and most
pitched in
player.
the championship game,
Yeah.
the dude is legit, and they've already said he's not pitching this year. Love it. Pitched a lot of innings, a lot of high leverage, stressful innings. So he's not pitching until spring training. Perfect. I mean, he'll go to Arizona and, work on stuff, but he's not pitching on any minor league team this year. But he could be up next year. They've already said it. They're like 26 or 27. I'm like, let's go.
Yes. So I'm excited, and I think I can hold this excitement, but I do want to pump the brakes. I do not want the Mariners front office to make any decisions banking on him being in the rotation next year. Like, I just think it's a mistake. I think you act like I don't want them to trade any of these pitchers away that they have right now. Well, I think me and you agree on this. Like, we've been on the same page since you double down on your strengths. Like, I don't want them to trade Bryce Miller. I don't want them to trade Luis Castillo. I just think it's a good rotation, and you don't want to break it apart.
Yeah, it's really hard to trade one of them now. Miller's value is going to be pretty low. I mean, you can't trade Miller. He was in a ESPN projected trade, a massive trade for Ronald Acuna, which, by the way, I would absolutely trade.
Okay, so that's
almost everybody.
That's the exception to my thing.
But the Bryce Miller thing, I'm like, who's going to trade for him? He's been on the injured list twice this year with, it looks like it could end up being Tommy John surgery, right? So, like, I don't think anyone's going to trade for Bryce Miller.
And I don't think the Mariners would want to trade considering what the return you'd get, right?
So right. If he's left alone. If he's part of a trade for a bigger player, like the Acuna trade, you can go Google it on ESPN, then sure. But to your point, I'd rather trade a prospect arm, although I'm really reluctant to trade Ryan Sloan, who they drafted last year. He looks nasty. Because to your larger point, having a bank of young pitchers that are controllable and low salaries is awesome.
Then it turns into this. Do the Mariners finally have an identity besides just, being losers, right? Like, if they could just start this machine of having good controllable pitchers and just kind of base your roster construction around this, like, you'll have a rotation of cheap young arms, and then you can go pay Julio Rodriguez, and then you can go pay Cal Raleigh, and who knows next.
Hopefully Randy Arozarena, they can extend him. He's arbitration eligible. They have control of him, but they could extend him.
Yeah.
I think he and Julio get along really well. It was really cool. Julio gave up his spot in the All-Star game, or Randy ends up taking it. I don't think Julio necessarily knew that, although it sounded like they talked about it, like it was a possibility. So, yeah, could they do that? To your question, I went on a little tangent. Yes, they do have an identity, because if you read the draft analysis of Kate Anderson, they're like, oh, man, this guy, the number one prospect in the Mariners pitching lab is what they call it. They're like, it's a perfect fit. And he even said it. And Logan Gilbert texted Kate Anderson right away. So I think their identity is young starting pitching, and that they develop these guys, and that's where you want to go be if you're a young starter. Yes. So that's cool.
Do you think Jared DePoto listens to the podcast? Because you asked me. Yeah, you asked me. You said, who do you want, Kev? I said, college arm. And who did they pick? I read your article.
That's true.
But he kind of fell to them,
Jerry DePoto could go one of two ways. He could absolutely listen to the podcast. Like, I could see him being obsessive and listening to every content about him or the Mariners.
There's no way.
Or he doesn't have time for that.
No,
it's one of the two.
Absolutely not. We'd be like the last podcast he listened to.
Wow. Way to really get the listenership up. All right. Well, that was a good intro talking about the Mariners. That covered some of the stuff I wanted to talk about. But I thought what we would do, Kev, is maybe our way to talk about things this week is, I just thought, my kids have been younger grade, and sometimes teachers give them sentence starters.
Yeah.
And then you fill in the sentence, right? So our sentence starter is just one sentence over and over. We got to talk about.
Yeah.
And I say it in the way of like, this is, we don't always get big news in July. So we got to talk about Cal Raleigh just won the home run derby, Kev.
Yeah. I was half watching until it was his turn in the first round.
Yep.
And when it was finally his turn, it's nice because what he has to get to. And so it was around 21 was the ceiling. And so if he got to 21, he'd be in it. Of course, he hit 17 in ties.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this telecast, and no one really knows like
Yeah.
what happens when there's a tie. Well, there's a tiebreaker, which is
Distance,
the
right?
distance, and he gets in by like less than a foot.
Yeah, and the broadcast originally, I think,
Said the other way.
I had it muted, but
Yeah.
My sister and I were watching as we were watching my kids play tennis, and she's like, they have the same longest distance. Brent Rooker and Cal Raleigh. She's like, I think they have to do a swing off, which they've done before, but they changed it obviously with StatCast. They can.
I think they should change it back because
you'd rather have a swing off.
Yeah,
that would be
if
cool.
you have the same amount of home runs,
That's a good point.
I guess it's fair. And someone posted it on X, and I totally agree with this person that I think you do the swing off. You don't StatCast. It's great, but I accidentally at one point changed the telecast to the StatCast version, and so I was complaining to Christine because I was seeing like, why am I seeing a lightsaber every time Cal Raleigh hits a home run?
That's so funny. I like that the broadcast so much better.
God,
the ESPN one, the ESPN one was like you were drunk at sea. Like the camera just kept following, and you didn't know if it was going out or not. You couldn't track anything, and most of social media agrees with me on this one, Kev. People were pissed about ESPN.
So they liked the lightsaber thing.
Yeah, because they just had one camera on them hitting homers, and then the other was like a computer screen showing where it was going, but not a camera trying to track the ball in the outfield, and then watching two kids crash into each other in the outfield, which is entertaining. But
what they need to do, which they've probably have done in the history of home run derby, is have like a kid cam, like just mic up one of the kids.
Well, do you remember in Seattle when the kid got like nailed or he got hurt on the Vladimir Guerrero one?
That's scary.
Oh,
That's
God.
scary.
Dana was there with Felix, my son. And yeah, they were like texting, like, is this kid alive? They had to like cart him off.
Oh,
anyway.
no.
And that's what everyone was fearful about with O'Neal Cruz, because this guy's hitting absolute swamp rockets all over the field. He hit one 513 feet.
Yeah, and
what's
you get
happening?
the little bonus. So my one takeaway from this whole event, and actually, like it started this morning when you sent me the article.
Yeah,
Cal Raleigh is definitely in the mainstream now.
Yes,
but he's like a star. He's a star.
Well, did you see the video of him going into the locker room and all the NL All-Stars greeting him?
Yeah.
And they're all wanting to shake his hand. Like he obviously knows some of the guys. He gives Robbie Ray a hug.
Yeah.
And then, my heart be still. Gino Suarez is like, everyone wants to be Cal Raleigh. I love Cal Raleigh. And he's hugging him. And it's like, Gino, come home. Come home. I told Dana and my sister tonight, I said, listen, if they traded for Gino right now at the All-Star break, I'm spending all the money I have to go to the first game back.
Oh, I'd buy the jersey.
And Dana's like, save up for a playoff game. Don't go to that game. I'm like, no, it means more to me. Gino Suarez I said this on the podcast. He's at least in my top 20, which doesn't sound like a big deal. But when you think about watching baseball since I was 1 year old, 1980, that's a lot of Mariners, a lot of bad Mariners over the years.
Yeah.
But Gino's up there.
He's
I love
Christine's
him.
favorite player.
He's the best. Good vibes only. Like, they need to go bring him home.
So speaking of Cal as a star, and I don't know what that means. Like, it'd be interesting to do this exercise with you and just throw 10 random Seattle guys and have you rate like 10 is a superstar.
Well, he's on the Mount Rushmore, right? Softy did that tweet, like, who's on the Seattle Mount Rushmore right now? And Cal is the one.
Oh, yeah.
Julio's probably on there too.
Yeah.
Cal's the most famous Seattle athlete right now.
Yeah.
Above Julio.
Yep.
Or most beloved, or whatever you want to say. Right?
Yeah. So Cal Raleigh at the break, 38 home runs. He's up there, all numbers wise, in the AL. Not leading every category because his main competitor for MVP is Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Now, what are your thoughts here on Cal Raleigh?
You got to use the sentence starter.
We got to talk about Cal Raleigh in the MVP race.
Yeah, we do, Kev.
I love the scaffolding there.
Yeah, thank you.
The teachers will like this.
Okay, so Cal Raleigh, you alluded to this. 38 home runs. The only person ever with more is Barry Bonds in 2001. When I was in college, I was watching many Giants games being in the Bay Area with 39 in the first half. A very bulked Barry Bonds at the time. Here are the list of players with 38 homers and 10 stolen bases in a team's first 96 games. All time. Babe Ruth, Reggie Jackson, Ken Griffey Jr., and Cal Raleigh. Like, what? So, yeah, we are talking about it. And here's what's great. And I agree with Mariners Twitter on this one. Yankee fans are getting nervous. The amount of hate coming to Cal on social media now, and the how can we even talk about this? Aaron Judge is hitting 360, which, by the way, kind of agree with. He's hitting 360. But Cal as a catcher, now that's the narrative on MLB shows. It's like it's so much harder to be a catcher. Guess what? He DHs less than Aaron Judge does, so he's playing a more premium position. We got to talk about it. It's real now. It's not 7 weeks ago, Kev, or 6 weeks ago when you and I were on here saying, should we talk about it? No, it's Aaron Judge. Now it's a real conversation.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see. This is my prediction. I've seen it happen all the time.
Yep.
The Seattle Mariners organization is going to start a campaign in August, probably late August, mid-August, where they're going to start to push the narrative that he is the MVP. And I think the argument is this. I think one, it's what you said. He's a catcher. He plays durable. It's hard to have this level of production, and it shows. He's breaking every catcher record there is that has to do with hitting in a season. Number two, I think the argument is going to be he's leading the pitching staff. And so what they're going to say is because the pitching staff is so good, Cal Raleigh has to have something to do with it.
He's a platinum glove winner too.
Except
right?
for Luis Castillo, who has Mitch Garver catch for him. That's still a thing, right?
It's switched, I think. Now.
Okay.
So it's weird. Garver's catching for Logan Gilbert now.
Okay, interesting.
So it's switched, which I don't know why, because Logan and Cal are really close.
Yeah.
But since Logan got off the injured list, it's been Mitch catching Logan. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think Cal's better defensively than Mitch Garver. When you watch Mitch, he this is, my analysis. He seems to stab at the ball a little bit more with and you don't want to do that as a catcher. I mean, he does fine. I haven't looked at the metrics, but Cal obviously is one of the best. So I wonder with Logan's stuff, because he has more swing and miss stuff, if they put Mitch there because he doesn't need to frame as much because guys swing and miss more.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whereas Castillo's swing and miss stuff has gone down, he's still getting decent strikeouts, so you need more pitch framing because of the run of his fastball and stuff. This is my theory.
Yeah.
If the Mariners are listening, and this is true, can you hire me? Thank you.
So my last point is that, and this is related to the first point, it's kind of the Edgar Martinez argument. Edgar Martinez is the best DH to ever play the game, therefore he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Cal Raleigh put together the best season a catcher has ever put together, therefore he deserves to win the MVP is what I'm saying.
I think my last point, I totally hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is an NBA argument. I hear a lot on the Bill Simmons podcast, and it's played out very true. Narratives matter. So, for example, Jokic doesn't win the MVP this year, and Gilgeous-Alexander deserved the MVP, right? Just like Judge or Cal deserved the MVP. But people just didn't want to vote for Jokic again. Giannis had this problem before when he won MVPs. They just stopped voting for him, even though he had the best stats, because there's a narrative for somebody else to win the MVP. Voters get voter fatigue. Aaron Judge has won it twice, I believe.
Yes.
I don't think it's back-to-back. Is it back-to-back?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong
I think he won last year for sure. So, are they going to vote for Cal, some people, just because they have fatigue with Aaron Judge, which isn't fair to Aaron Judge. But if they're close, that has mattered in the NBA. I would have to go back and look in baseball to see how much that has mattered. I feel like it's less so in baseball, but it could matter this time. So
Cal Raleigh just won the home run derby, so he added that to his
home run derby
2025 resume.
His second round, as I'm watching on my phone, sitting on a grassy lawn, was awesome. He was hitting some tanks all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So, and his third round, I mean, he crushed Cruz in the final.
You get the
too,
tingling sense as a Seattle
Kemen,
Mariner fan. You've seen so many of his home runs that I could just tell from the swing whether it was out or not. And it was Cal Raleigh, so he has a certain way to do it.
And it was cool. He switch hit. Like, it was just, it's rad. Cal is rad. I mean, there's not much you could say. I would say one thing before we get off the Mariners. I know it's a lot of Mariners, but what a wild road trip before the All-Star break. They get swept in New York. One of the most painful regular season losses that I can remember for the Mariners. 5-0 lead. Brian Woo's got a no-hitter going into the 8th. Yeah. They lose in extras with Brash and Munoz giving up the game. Munoz is tipping his pitches, which, by the way, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, which I feel dumb about. But I'm like, why is Trent Grisham waving his arms? He's definitely signaling something. And I didn't think like he's signaling slider. Did you see this?
No, I didn't. So did someone figure this out?
So Trent Grisham's at second base and does this. He waves his arms when it's a slider. And then he doesn't wave his arms when it's a fastball. And everyone knew. They asked Cal after the game, and Cal's like, yeah, they found out he was tipping what he was throwing. So they were telling him what was coming for Munoz. Yeah. So it's actually awesome in some ways that it happened, because Munoz has already said, I figured it out. He pitched in Detroit. It was fine. He didn't have a guy in second, I don't think, but it's good for him to find the tip. It was weird how obvious Trent Grisham was of the Yankees. Like, his arms, huge waving arms. But he's tipping at pitches. And with all that said, Munoz had a third call strike that wasn't called. The umpire blew it. I cannot wait for the challenge system to start. I think it's the dumbest thing ever that they can't challenge it. The Mariners would have won that game, but they come back. Kev, they crushed the Tigers.
Yeah, the best record in baseball, right?
And Tarek Skubal, who is 10-1 against everyone who's not a Mariner team. And he's 0-2 against the Seattle Mariners this year. The best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, and
what?
And one of the reasons why is we got to talk about Julio.
Thank you, Kev. Nice job. Great segue. Okay, I got one for you. 17 total bases, 4 walks, and 2 steals in a 3-game series. In the history of baseball, this is Mariners PR, put this out. History of baseball, modern era, so they don't have it for old ones. Bonds in 87, Mike Schmidt in 1975, Julio this weekend. Only 3 people have ever done it.
Do we just have the ghost of Barry Bonds
I know.
infiltrating the bodies of Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez?
I'll take it. Julio's
awesome. Old school Bonds without the steroids, and Cal Raleigh is new school, or no, latter end roided up Bonds.
Yeah, exactly. His dumper's roided up. Julio is not roided up. He looks the same. But he finally hit pitches that are in the middle of the zone and wasn't missing him. And he was hitting absolute nukes out to left field. And then he hit a Oppo 1-2 pitch for a home run in the 3rd game. And not to mention, Randy Arozarena, Kev, has the most home runs in baseball since June 30th with 9.
So this is the offense is heating up version of the Seattle Mariners. We always know this always seems to happen.
Yeah, but here's the difference. I gotta jump in.
Okay.
I gotta jump in.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm getting pumped up. I get excited about the Mariners. Here's the difference. They showed it during the broadcast. The Mariners have a top 6 WRC plus on this season for their offense.
Yes.
Their offense frustrates us because we have been historically traumatized by them. And they need to add. Like, Ben Williamson's awesome on defense. I would keep him on the roster and bring him in the 8th inning or something. I don't know. Or if they get Suarez, fine. They do need to upgrade. I love Luke Raley. He shouldn't be the left field platoon or the first base platoon bat. Go get Josh Naylor or whoever. Upgrade the team. Go get a relief pitcher. They need to upgrade to go. They could go win the World Series.
Read Patrick Leary on Seatown Sports.
Yes.
.com. He talks about this is what they need to do. Here's how they upgrade.
Patrick's been awesome on Patrick can get real negative on Twitter, and he knows this versus like his real life persona. But the one thing he's consistent on all the time, because I read a lot of his tweets, is They should absolutely not be sellers. There's all these people who are like, the Mariners should sell.
There's 6 games of how many games above 500?
6 games above 500. They're in the playoffs currently. They're only 5 back of the Astros. Play the Astros first 3 games out of the break this weekend coming up.
It's going to be fine.
This following weekend. I have to say one more thing about the Mariners. To Patrick's point, I don't understand. I think people who want to find like penny stocks and then hold them and say like, look at what I invested in, are the same people who are like, don't trade any of these prospects. If there's ever a time for a franchise to trade like the Colorado Rockies should not be trading prospects, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Mariners should absolutely. They have 9 players in the top 100. They just had a great draft by all accounts and purposes. Why wouldn't you trade prospects? Now is the time.
So this is what we're used to. Maybe take me back 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was, okay, we're going to give up our prize. We're going to give up Adam Jones.
It's Adam Jones.
Bedard,
Adam
right?
Jones has traumatized
Yeah, this is just
a lot of people.
the example. But here's the difference.
Yeah.
We are stockpiled.
Right.
Right. We have a catcher that literally can't play because our catcher in the big leagues is too good.
Right.
And we have one of the top catchers.
And then we just drafted another catcher 35th overall.
Yeah. So my point is that we don't have to sell the entire farm.
Yeah.
We can sell 2 to 3 guys and get a superstar. I think. Right. You package three
totally
really good.
I don't know who's available. Right.
Well,
what kind of superstars?
9,
yeah.
A third of the farm. You trade a third of the top 100 set of 9 people and you get a superstar. Like,
yeah, go back to the Castillo trade. People were freaking out even then. I mean, there are trades where like the Padres getting Juan Soto and they gave up Mackenzie Gore and CJ Abrams and James Wood. And those guys are really good in the Nationals. But guess what? The Nationals still suck.
Yeah.
So like, should the Padres not have done it? Absolutely they should. They got Juan Soto. Even though it didn't work out, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
The Mariners getting Randy Arozarena was good for this franchise. Nobody who's a Mariners fan is mad that Randy Arozarena is on the Mariners. They don't care about who those prospects were. The people who love prospects aren't going home and saying, God, that Pete Smith guy we traded. They don't care. They only care if they blow up and become Adam Jones, right?
Yeah.
But if Eric Bedard had won a World Series for us, we all would have said, awesome.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
you have to have a framework. And I
got to do it.
Yeah. This is why Dipoto,
yes,
we're turning into We Love Dipoto right now, but this is why I love it because he set this up so he can trade.
And now he's got to do it though.
He's got to pull the trigger.
So we got to talk about this in another episode. And what we'll do, I think, is talk about, I'm going to make you do some research, Kev, which is, not your forte on the podcast. I want us to come up with like, who would we not trade?
Yeah.
Like just based on what you've read or seen, like I'll give you a preview. Las Montes, this dude who is Yordan Alvarez Jr. for the Mariners, who hits 475-foot home runs. He's the guy. Like unless you're getting Acuna back, I don't want him traded.
Yeah.
But like I'd trade Cole Emerson, our number 1 prospect, because what's the difference between him and Cole Young?
Yeah. Well, I want to go back because Substack prompted me to share your top prospects post from last year. And you kind of did it in a way where you said, who would we trade this person for? Yeah. I'd love to talk that out with you.
Yeah.
And see what the level is. So we're getting closer to the
I'm thinking we need a top 10 prospects post also. I know Patrick has kind of his version of it, but with the draft and everything, that'd be interesting to put up our version as well.
Yes.
As trade deadlines coming.
Yeah. You ready for my next transition?
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Speaking of acquisitions,
we
got to talk about.
You're so good right now.
Mia Fishel.
Kev, how much do they pay you to do your job? Like, you must be so good.
This job or the other one?
The other
this
one. The lawyer
not...
one. The lawyer one. They gave you a lot of money for that?
Probably. Sometimes I question why they let me do that job.
Wait, I want to do Kevin's disclaimer. This podcast is not sponsored by his law firm. Okay. We got to talk about Mia Fishel, Kev. Let's move on to her. She's more impressive than both of us.
Yeah.
Who's your
favorite UCLA Bruin of all time?
Oh, God, Kev, you're just on fire.
The reason why I ask is because Mia Fishel played for the UCLA Bruins for
She sure did.
3 years.
I mean, like, it's
John
not
Wooden.
Bill Walton. Like, I didn't watch him, right? You know, or Lou Alcindor or whatever. A UCLA Bruin that I loved in college was Russell Westbrook. He
Yes.
was so good at UCLA. He was so fun. Um, Jason Capono annoyed me. That was my area, like the headband shooter. Troy Aikman? I don't know. Anyway, Mia Fishel's pretty good UCLA Bruin. So who's Mia Fishel for those who don't follow maybe soccer or the Seattle Reign? This is a huge deal. Okay. Mia Fishel's 24 years old. She is a striker, forward for you lay people, who got drafted out of college to go to the Orlando Pride and said, I don't want to go play for a rebuilding NWSL team. I'm going to go sign with Tigres, who the Sounders have played on the men's side. And she scored 17 goals as a 22-year-old and won the Golden Boot in that league. She was the first foreign player in Mexico, I think it's Mexico, to win the Golden Boot. She then went to Chelsea, kind of a big deal going to Chelsea, where she tore ACL, and she even said it. The roster's stacked at Chelsea women. That's where Emma Hayes, the U.S. women's national team coach, was before. And Mia Fishel, otherwise known as Big Fish, what a good nickname, has now signed with the Sounders. Sorry, the Reign, not the Sounders. She could probably play for the Sounders. The Reign through 2029. And there are reports saying it's the biggest contract in NWSL history. It could be up to $2.5 million in value by the end. Mallory Swanson had the biggest one at $2 million. So that's a lot of information. But I want you to remember a few things if you're listening. Mia Fishel, good enough to play for Chelsea on the world stage. Good enough to get a cap with the national team before tearing her ACL. 24, I'm going to repeat it. Striker. In Seattle through 2029. This is not a 1 year, let's see how it goes. She's coming to be a centerpiece with Lynn Biandalo and Sam Meza and Claudia Dickey and all this young core.
Jordan Bugg,
exactly. Emery Adamas and Maddie Darlene. Kev, we got to talk about the championship aspirations for your Seattle Reign.
I agree. I just want to, I'm looking at her stats, and I covered soccer for a little bit, and her goal scoring at UCLA, 32 goals in 59 appearances. That's over 50%, so about 54%. At Tigres, 38 goals in 48 appearances.
Yeah.
That's an 80% rate. So that means 80% of the games she's getting in 80% of her games she got a goal. At Chelsea, she only had 14 appearances. She still knocked in 2 goals.
Yeah.
In good
European She's not even playing whole games in those appearances, right? Because she's coming off the ACL.
I'm looking at her international stats. U17 in 22 appearances, 6 goals. Got a lot better as U20. 6 appearances, 13 goals.
Oh my God. U20 is where she played for Laura Harvey, the Reign coach. So they have a connection. She talked about the community atmosphere in Seattle, being on the West Coast. She's a West Coast person. It's really exciting. Like, there's 2 things I want to say. First, I want to make a prediction what I think is going to happen in terms of lineup. And then I want to say everybody should go get tickets to the August 1st game and go see her first appearance. Like, go get tickets. The Reign tickets are affordable. You get great seats. Go do it. August 1st. I think it's Angel City. I think she's going to slide in, and honestly, to bring it back to the Mariners and the connection, I think Jordan Heidema, Julio's boo, is going to lose playing time here. So
maybe that's why he took the time off to comfort her. That's major speculation.
It could be. I think Lynn's up top, and then they're going to kind of play a very aggressive Maddie Darlene and Mia Fishel. Then you got Sam Meza with Fishlock playing however much she can play in the middle. And then you have Emery Adamas off the bench and Heidema every once in a while and Mondesir every once in a while as striker options. But this team, all of a sudden, we were talking. Remember, Kev, I said, okay, they're winning, but not scored more than 1 goal in like 8 straight matches.
Yeah.
Well, they scored 4 goals in their last match right before the break before getting Mia Fishel. And the young players are getting confidence. And I really legitimately think now you have to start talking about, can they win the championship?
Yeah, they're fishing for a championship.
So speaking of championships,
wow, you just sorry, go ahead.
No, I love that. That was a great one. It was a really good one. It was good, Kev. You're on fire, but I was ready for my segue.
Sorry.
We got to talk about whether the Storm have championship aspirations or not.
Yes.
I guess they have aspirations. Should we have championship aspirations?
Absolutely.
You still think so?
Yes. Why not? They're so inconsistent.
They're so inconsistent. And I just don't know if championship teams are this inconsistent. I'd say the same thing about the Aces, but the difference is the Aces have Asia Wilson and Chelsea Gray. And
well, let me ask you, because you've coached teams, you've been the head coach, you've been the associate head coach, you've been the assistant coach, and I've been in it. And you're in a season. I've been on teams where they were inconsistent, and then they just never got consistent.
Yep.
Right. And then you look back at the season and it becomes obvious. These were the issues.
Right.
We were talking about the same things in December. Same issues were happening in March, February.
Yep.
Because you didn't qualify, right, for state. Then there's those teams where I've been on where inconsistent all the way up, and then some turning point happens, and then you just start winning, right? You start winning more than you're used to. And so my question for you can the Storm break out of it basically and just kind of string together victories, and even when they lose, look like they should have won games, right? Concurrent with the eye test, or are we somewhere else? Is this going to be the story? And it sounds like it's probably the latter.
It's a really good question, Kev. If I had to pick one, I'm going to bank on we're going to get frustrated at the end of the year at their inconsistency.
Yes.
So they'll make the playoffs, right? We'll get frustrated that they can't seem to find a 6th or 7th person. Like, will a starter get hurt because they're playing so much? I mean, they play their starters more than anybody in the league. I've talked about this before. Coach Quinn rides her vets, rides her starters. There's WNBA media is talking about it. People are on my Malanga island with me.
He looked good.
Oh God! But you know what? She looked bad against Washington.
Okay.
I went on Sunday.
Okay.
And with our loyal listener Justin Fenton, we forgot to send you a picture. Sorry, Kev. But she looked bad. Like, so she's inconsistent. She's 19. That makes sense. Maybe it matches the team. But they don't write it out. They're just like, well, tonight's not your night, so you play 3 minutes, right? And then they're just riding Nneka Ogwumike, who's been playing for years, 36 minutes, or whatever it is, and Skylar, and I don't know. Part of it is like, I coached motion offense for a long time, and motion offense can be really inconsistent when you don't have like a go-to scorer. Their go-to scorer is probably Skylar when they need it, but she's skilled but undersized against physical teams who really defend. Like Washington on Sunday, Kev, they were so physical defending the Storm, and it really threw the Storm off.
I mean, is the answer to that just to be better in transition so you don't have to pound and deal with that?
I think they would like to be, but how can you do that when your starters are playing that many minutes? I don't know that that'll work. Maybe out of the break, the All-Star break, they'll be fine. But this is a team that goes and beats New York twice this year, granted without John Quilter-Jones, one of the best players in the league. But they beat the Aces twice with Asia Wilson playing. And then they lose to Connecticut and Washington in 2 out of the 3 games most recently. So I think they just are inconsistent, and I would put their championship aspirations lower than the Mariners, and I'd put them lower than the Reign.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say right now. But maybe I'm the negative one on the Storm, but it's really hard when you watch them go out and it's even within a game. They had an awesome 3rd quarter on Sunday, and then they were awful in the 4th. And they just can't get anything going like in a row. What do you do when you need a bucket? They run a high pick and roll for Skylar. If they are physical with her, if they blitz her, meaning 2 people on the ball, it becomes really difficult. because they still don't have the spacing with shooters, and it's what I've been saying all year. It's the reason I think you got to force Malunga minutes is your ceiling is here instead of all the way up here. And I know that saying here and using my hand is bad for audio, but you get it.
So Malunga doesn't seem to be, pouting or doing outrageous things like throwing a ball at a fan.
Oh man,
we gotta talk about
Nuhu.
Nuhu.
My guy Nuhu is a problem for the Sounders.
Yes.
We're not alone in this, right? This one is egregious. Like the fan flicks him off. Okay. I've been around I don't know. I've seen lots of people flick off players, right?
Yeah.
I'm not advocating it or saying it's a good thing to do. There are people, you probably shouldn't do that. Go tell that to Philadelphia or Boston fans, right? Like, knew who threw the ball at this fan.
Yeah.
And he got red carded. He was red carded in Vancouver. We talked about it in this podcast before the Club World Cup. His temper is going somewhere right now, and he's going to be suspended for this. And the Sounders are playing well, and they have a Nuhu problem that they need to figure out. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah. Reading the story, it was on the Sun, which is the equivalent of what is it? The National Enquirer.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Footballer given straight red card for throwing ball at fan before sticking finger up at referee.
Well, yeah, because then it looked like on the broadcast he gave the middle finger to the ref, which is amazing. Yeah. But later it was determined that he was telling the ref this is what the fan did.
And this is why you come to Seatown Sports, the Wait for It Seattle podcast, for the real story.
The real story. You can't go to the Inquirer/Sun. You gotta come to us.
This reminded me of Isaiah Thomas, Huskies legend, was shooting a free throw. And I think he was on the 70s. No. He was playing the 76ers. I don't know.
Probably on the Celtics.
Yeah. The middle finger gave him the middle. The fan gave him the middle finger and said "F you, B word" after he made his second free throw. Isaiah Thomas goes into the stands and calmly tells the fan to not disrespect him. The fan said, "Sorry, I really wanted a Frosty." And they're interviewing Thomas after the game when he's telling the story. And Thomas is like pissed, right?
Yeah.
And like it just
that is so funny. Because they do all these free throw things in the NBA where you get like a free Frosty or a lot of arenas now it's a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. I think I've talked about this before, but Boban is such a legend.
Yeah.
The 7'5" guy. He missed a second free throw on purpose in an opposing arena to give them free Chick-fil-A.
I love it.
He's such a legend. He's in John Wick. Like Boban's the best.
Yeah. Anyway,
we got to talk about Boban more. Oh, maybe not tonight.
Now I want a Frosty after recounting that story because it's very funny.
Yeah.
So, wow, we covered seven things.
Yeah.
Within time. But we got to talk about our top 5, right?
Yeah, let's do it. Top 5.
Okay, I got one for you.
Okay, tell me what it is because I'm worried that we have the same one.
It's a home run derby related?
Yes.
Oh, God, we have the same.
What's yours, though?
I was going to ask you, give me all the Mariners or former Mariners that have won a home run derby.
I was going to ask you who are the participants that wore a Mariners uniform in the home run derby. So this is going to be a bad top 5.
Kind of. Well,
you know them and I know them.
No, well, okay.
Should we just do it for the listeners?
Yeah, let's go back.
Like a collective one?
Yeah, okay. So,
all right. You tell me who is, let's start with winners. Who's won a home run derby for the Mariners besides Cal Raleigh, obviously?
Ken Griffey Jr. is the only one.
How many times did he win it?
3 times, 94, 98, and 99.
Yes.
But
can I tell you a fun fact about, I think it's 94. He beat Tony Gwynn in the championship round.
Why was Tony? Man, Ichiro should have been in the home run derby. That's my only.
I was going to talk to you about this. Ichiro was not, and they always wanted him to be, and he totally should have been. And maybe that's why Tony Gwynn ended up in it to prove people he could do more than hit singles. So Tony Gwynn would always hit a single through the third baseman shortstop, that 6 hole. That's like his spot that he would always just slap because he's such a good, opposite field hitter. So maybe he's trying to prove something. Thank God
Yeah.
Griffey didn't lose to him.
Yeah. So my question for you was, it's a slightly different. It was like, who's won for the Mariners and who, like, former Mariners or ex-Mariners
Yep.
or people to become Mariners, who won?
Wait. So people who became Mariners later or were former Mariners?
Both.
Okay. All right. This is good. This is different than mine.
Yeah.
So Teoscar Hernandez won it last year.
Yes.
Former Mariner. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. Um, ooh, is there somebody else who won who is a former Mariner or future Mariner? Interesting. I don't know if I know this. There's one more.
Okay, I'll give you the year. Okay. 2011.
Is it Robinson Cano? Did he win one?
Yeah. 2011.
With the Yankees, right?
Cano, okay.
Right before he came to the Mariners.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay. So
1997. This one's good.
97. So this is 97.
He shares the last name of a Mariners Hall of Famer.
Whoa. Martinez? Is it a Martinez?
Yes, no. It's a Martinez.
Wait, what Martinez would have won? Not Tino.
Tino Martinez won the 1997 Home Run Derby.
He did not. Are you sure?
He's like the Brent Barry of Home Run Derbies.
He did. Wow. That's incredible. Is there another one?
Yes, there is another one.
I looked at the list, so I'm cheating now.
1989.
Yeah, I cheated. I just saw it.
Was
I wouldn't have got this one. I would not have got this one. It was a tie. I would not have gotten this one. It's Ruben Sierra. That's incredible. Ruben Sierra being a Mariner is also incredible. Kev, if you go back and look at home run derby formats in the past, they're real bad. They had like American League versus National League, and then they would name an individual winner. So Griffey won, not in the format we're seeing here. Like he won and they would do like 10 outs, which I kind of liked, but then the winner would have like 8 home runs total. This was solid. I kind of wish it wasn't timed, because the way the camera goes, because they go so fast. I mean, God, it would be a long broadcast if they didn't do it. But I kind of wish you could just savor the home run and then throw the next pitch, versus like you're immediately swinging. Also, I got to tell you about this before I give you my top 5 related, because I think you'll get it, but it'll be good. When I was growing up, I don't know if I've said this before. I used to watch like Saved by the Bell and like shows like that on TBS when I'd be home, like, if I didn't have like basketball camp or something. This is like when I'm like 13, 14, 15, whatever. They would show old home run derbies, black and white home run derbies. They had a television show. This is like in the 50s. And it would be like Mantle and Mays having like a home run derby contest.
Why does Wikipedia only have 1985? Like, why?
That's when they started it. This other home run derby, let me see if I can find it.
God, could you imagine?
It was like a TV show.
In 1985.
Here it is. 1960s TV show. It was literally called Home Run Derby. It was always at Wrigley Field. Wait, it says Wrigley Field in Los Angeles. What the hell is that? So I used to watch this. Hank Aaron, Ernie Banks, Gil Hodges, Harmon Killebrew, Mickey Mantle, and Willie Mays. They would be on there and they would compete against each other one-on-one in these things. It was awesome. And the prize winner would get a $2,000 check and am invited next week to have a new opponent. Is this not cool?
No, I think it's cool.
So imagine if like now, it's kind of like American Gladiators. I don't know if you ever watched that. They used to have like real athletes on. Or if they did it now, imagine like, okay, Cal won this. And then like in the off season, you just had a baseball show where Cal was hitting, let's say they went to like Pittsburgh and they hit there and it was Cal and Aaron Judge was against him. And if Aaron Judge won, he got to go next week against Shohei. I don't know. Maybe nobody would watch it. Maybe it wouldn't be great.
I'd watch it.
But in 1960, like there weren't a lot of television shows, and
Yeah,
I used to watch.
It's got to be on YouTube.
Kev, I used to sit there and watch on my couch the whole thing, which probably tells you a lot about me as a fan and why my wife's like,
so great.
You have to watch every inning.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. That actually, I have two possibilities for you. I'm going to let you pick your top 5.
Yes.
Since you already did some research, you could just pick 5 people who competed for the Mariners. I think that would be too easy because you could get 3 of them, well, right now. How about this? Since I didn't get to it in the show, but I put it in the show notes, I think you'll like this one. Speaking of Cal and the MVP, in 2014, I'm going to tell you who won the MVP, okay? American League. Mike Trout. Mike Trout won the MVP. Okay? He was going away. Blew everybody out of the water. He had 111 RBIs. He hit 287. He was incredible. In that year, let me see if I have this right.
You got to give me teams.
Oh, hold on. In the top 20. So they go all the way through 20 for voting for MVP, right? There are 6 Mariners or future Mariners in that voting. It's insane. Okay. So it's 2014. So let's just break it down so you don't get overwhelmed, because it would be easy to get overwhelmed by this that I'm presenting to you. Okay. This is 2014. Think of Seattle in 2014. There are 3 players in the top 20 who were Mariners that year. And this is not a good year of Mariners baseball.
And you said future Mariners, though.
This is current. So there are others that are future, right?
Yeah. And I know Robinson Cano is a future one, so put him on that.
No, he was a current Mariner.
Oh.
In 2014.
When
and he got
come over?
5th in the MVP. Can you believe that? He's so underrated in Mariners history because they were never good.
Yeah.
He hit 314. He had only 14 home runs and 82 RBIs. It's kind of weird that he got 5th, but I think it was on reputation a little bit. Yes, you got one.
Yeah, Nelson Cruz probably had like 30 home runs.
So Nelson Cruz is a future Mariner. He's on there. Baltimore Orioles. He was 7th in MVP voting that year. Come on, you got to get current. 2014. There's a Mariner you should absolutely know who's in it. You're just not thinking correctly. You're going too strong in one direction. That's my only hint I'll give you.
Ichiro.
Nope. He's not in there. That's one strike.
The Yankees at that point? God. Who was on the Mariners in 2014?
He had a great year.
Is it Haniger?
Nope. Felix Hernandez.
Oh, wow.
Don't think he won the Cy. This is not his Cy Young year, right? No. Yeah. So this is what's interesting. He loses to Corey Kluber. By the way, Corey Kluber also had an amazing year. He had a 2.44 ERA. He had more strikeouts. He had a better record, 18-9. But this is the year Felix gets robbed because he actually finished above him in MVP, but below him in Cy Young. Okay. You didn't get it, but there's a guy who got one MVP vote. Not for first place, by the way. Trout was unanimous first place. But they go all the way down to whatever, 20, and this guy got one vote. So he's on the list. 2014.
What position?
Third base.
Beltre.
No. Beltre's on the list, but he's on the list as a Texas Ranger. That's one of the 6.
It's Kyle Seager?
Kyle Seager got one vote. He had 25 bombs and 96 RBIs that year.
It's pretty good.
Beltre for Texas hit 324, 19 homers, 77 RBIs. He was 15th. Okay, so we have Seager, Beltre, Cruz, Felix, Cano. There's one more Mariner, future Mariner adjacent player on this list that will probably drive everybody nuts. And we talked about him already today, and his name is Adam Jones, number 14. So here's my point. Random year, 2014 AL MVP. In the top 20 were Seager, Felix, Cruz, Cano, Beltre, Adam Jones. There's a world where they're all on the team together.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no,
like
no.
Yeah.
There's some Marvel alternate universe.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, yeah.
Where they won the World Series with that roster.
Right. And then you go to other years, and AL MVP is so interesting because the next year it goes all the way to 24 in 2015. And you've got like Kendrys Morales got 7 votes. He was a Mariner. Edwin Encarnacion finished 12th. He was a Mariner. Beltre was 7th. Cruz was 6th while he was playing for the Mariners the next year. Like, there's just all these dudes that like get votes as Mariners. A-Rod got a vote that year, actually. Sorry. He was a Mariner. It just goes on and on and on. David Ortiz. Did you know he was in the Mariners farm system? Anyway, we can keep going. So you could go any year and just be depressed if you want, but that's not what we're going to finish on. We're going to finish on a quick prediction. Okay?
Yes.
Does that work for you?
I love how you end this. Go ahead.
So Mariners are 5 out, playing the Astros next weekend at T-Mobile to start the break. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we'll be on Monday. They'll have a game Monday, but we'll probably record during the middle of it. So let's just take the Astros series. Both teams could line up their pitchers. That means Hunter Brown's pitching for the Astros against us, who's phenomenal. What's the series result for the Mariners? Are we recording next Monday saying let's go?
2 of 3. 2 of 3.
Okay.
They're taking 2 of 3. It's hot. I heard it's hot in Seattle right now. Bats are hot. Cal Raleigh's hot. 2 of 3.
Astros are so good against us.
No, but the Mariners have owned them the past couple years. If you look at the win-loss.
They did last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they are this year.
This year might not be.
Because remember the Mariners had like a 5-game lead and they went to the Astros and played 4 there and won 1 out of 3. And I was like, it's fine. They still have a 4-game lead. And then now the Astros have a 5-game lead. So it hasn't gone well since then. But let's see. I'm going to be more pessimistic, which is not me usually. I think the Mariners are going to win 1 out of 3, but it's going to be enough. They won't get swept, which is huge. They'll win 1 of the 3 games and they'll be 6 back. And it'll probably tell us like they're not going to win the West, but they'll be in the wild card hunt. And it'll be next weekend. It'll be July 20th. We'll be 11 days away from the trade deadline, and it'll start to intensify that they need to make a move. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Well, don't you forget the Mariners in 2024 had a.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we won't.
We're going to end on a positive. Also, next week, I think you and I are going to talk about the Seahawks. So if you're missing football, training camp will be starting right after our podcast next week. So you can look forward to that. We will have some cool. I'm going to put up a post the next couple days during the All-Star break of the 10 best performances first half in Mariners history. And I can guarantee you Kevin will be upset. In fact, it's written in the draft right now that Kevin's going to be upset about it.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm also looking forward to actually writing something myself. I won't tell you what it is, so you go and read it.
Okay.
All right. See you next week.